scientists take their gravitational models of the galaxy, when they model galaxies, and when they look out at the stars and they count up how many stars they can visibly observe, and then they take that against other models of how galaxies form, it turns out that there's not enough matter in a galaxy in order for it to hold together the way it's observed in space. So they make the assumption that there must be additional matter within the galaxy in order to make it hold together the way they know it should, according to Einstein's version of relativity. And they call this matter, this missing matter of galaxies that holds galaxies together and causes them to spin around, they call this matter dark matter. And the CDMS project was set up and designed to detect this dark matter according to predictions made by the theory of special and general relativity. So has the CDMS project, which cost tens of millions of dollars itself, detected any dark matter? No. So here again we have direct falsifying observational evidence of Einstein's theories of relativity. There has been no research program ever has ever detected direct observational evidence of dark matter. No research program ever has ever detected observational evidence of gravitational waves. No research program ever has ever detected direct observational evidence of frame dragging. So we have three clear failures of Einstein's theory of relativity, and these are huge. I mean, we're talking this dark matter here. Without scientists postulating that dark matter exists, if they can't prove that dark matter actually exists, then all the theories of how galaxies form and how space expands are all wrong. It's all made up. There's not one thing would be right about Einstein's version of relativity if dark matter didn't actually exist. Well, all the evidence shows that dark matter does not exist. But let's keep going here.
Today, contrary to the public knowledge, heliocentrism is still based entirely on assumptions. It must be assumed that the sun is stationary. It must be assumed that the earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. It must be assumed that the earth is orbiting the sun annually at a speed of 67,000 miles per hour. It must be assumed that the earth is tilted on an axis of 23.5 degrees. It must be assumed that the earth's atmosphere is also rotating at 1,000 miles per hour, keeping birds, clouds, jets, and low-orbit satellites in perfect synchronization. It must be assumed that the stars do not move around the earth, as they have been observed to do by everyone who has ever lived in all of history. It must be assumed that the reason the Earth's diametric orbit of 300 million kilometers does not produce any noticeable stellar parallax is because the stars are too many trillions of miles away. If just one of these assumptions are false, then the entire heliocentric model falls apart, and not one of them has ever been proven. Nobody has ever proven that the Earth is spinning. Nobody has ever used verifiable facts to prove any of these things. In today's culture, from the moment children are old enough to absorb information, they are inundated with imagery of heliocentrism and the solar system. From infancy, we are made to absorb the idea that heliocentrism is as self-evident as the Pacific Ocean. We are raised up into science fiction Star Trek worlds where galaxies are infinite and there is no center to any of it. We are continually reinforced with the idea that Earth is just another planet out of trillions, hurtling meaninglessly through outer space. By the time we are adults, this idea has been so thoroughly hammered into our brains that to even hint that we may stand on a motionless Earth is considered absolutely insane. The simple truth that our senses inform us have all but been censored. Nobody is told that there's a geocentric model that has been working just as well since the 16th century. Nobody is told that the use of a heliocentric model has been based on philosophical assertions that Earth could not possibly be the center of the universe. However, it is readily admitted by modern-day astronomers that there is no real difference between a helio and geocentric model. Astronomer Sir Fred Hoyle states, quote, "We know that the difference between a heliocentric theory and a geocentric theory is one of relative motion only, and that such a difference has no physical significance. Today we cannot say that the Copernican theory is right and a geocentric theory is wrong in any meaningful sense. The two theories are physically equivalent to one another." Astronomer Gerardus Bow states, "It has been shown at least 6 different ways this century alone that the equations in physics used by NASA to launch satellites are identical to equations derived from a geocentric universe. Cosmologist George Ellis states, "I can construct you a spherically symmetrical universe with Earth at its center, and you cannot disprove it based on observations. You can only exclude it on philosophical grounds. The fact is we are using philosophical criteria in choosing our models. A lot of cosmology tries to hide that." And this is more from Marshall Hall of FixedEarth.com. Here's the bottom line with Copernicism, or heliocentrism. It has nothing but flaws. Like evolutionism, there's not one true thing about it. Every claim that it makes rests on an assumption that violates an observable fact. No one has ever observed the Earth moving. No one. No test or space shot or anything else has ever shown it to move. None of them. We believe the Earth moves because there has been over 400 years of satanically motivated, increasingly sophisticated indoctrination coming forth from the science establishment, telling us that it moves. No one has ever seen or felt the Earth moving at any speed. No one has ever seen the sun do anything but rise, go westward across the sky, and set. No one has ever seen the moon go eastward as it must in the Copernican system. It always rises in the east like the sun, goes westward, and sets in the west. We believe otherwise because we've been taught otherwise, just like people throughout history have believed all kinds of deceptions and called them truths. The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. The public has trusted the physicists, trusted them perhaps more than any other group, but in time, people will learn that the physicists are no more immune to the perverse motivational currents of the times than any other professional people. Scientists have enormous vested interest in protecting their theories, and the lazy, servile adherence of many physicists to pompous, conventional dogma makes them leaders in the downward trend of civilization. For 72 years, humanity has been browbeaten by an incomparably brazen bit of pseudoscience, Einsteinism. Because its perpetrators have defended it by using mathematics, which, though valid in itself, is not applied in relation to objective facts that are analyzed logically in the real world. Recondite kinds of higher mathematics have been falsely used to create an awesome, esoteric language whereby the initiated elite have set themselves apart from the world and have labeled all dissenters as quacks. Censorship is in total control of all areas of knowledge, all the natural sciences, all the social sciences, all the arts and humanities. Everything about which man has knowledge has been stood on its head in order to contradict the real objective facts that are analyzed logically in the real world. The real facts, the real logic, the real world, which confirm a creator, not the counterfeit facts, the counterfeit logic, designed to promote meaningless, accidental, purposelessness explosions of matter. If we use our brains for 1 minute, we know that a million kinds of eyes and brains and reproductive systems and all the foods and roots and flowers, etc., could never form out of an explosion of matter. We know it. And when we use our brains for 1 minute, we know that the Earth cannot be traveling through space at 30 times the speed of a rifle bullet. We know it. When we use our brains for 1 minute, we know that mankind has been deceived by false science, using crazy mathematics, into denying the creation of God. That is right before our eyes, exactly as it is set forth in the Bible. Virtually the whole world has professed itself to be wise, but has become fools. Worshipping matter as your creator is a false idol, and it will be destroyed with every other false god. There are 67 Bible verses that point to either a fixed, stationary earth or a moving sun. There are 0 verses which allude to a moving earth. These are all listed at FixedEarth.com. Just by looking at Genesis, it is clear that the earth was specially formed first, and the other stars, including the sun, were created afterwards. There is no mention of earth being put into motion, and the Bible explicitly states that the earth cannot be moved. When I first began considering a stationary earth, it seemed like an outrageous idea. And then I realized it's exactly what I've known to be true my entire life.